I killed 2 sourdough starters, in about a week and a half. And this video is about what I think went wrong so you can avoid killing your sourdough starter if you're a sourdough newbie like I am. A lot of videos talk about how easy it is. It's a no-brainer. Anyone can do sourdough starters, and that's true. I do believe that it's actually very easy. However, I think there's one thing that you really have to do in order to make sure that you don't kill your starter, and that's what this video is about. So I had one starter, my first starter ever, doing great a couple weeks ago. We get back from a vacation. We had been in Florida for almost 14 days, and it had this very thick crust on the top. I had put it in the refrigerator with a paper towel over it and a rubber band because I don't know what I'm doing. I knew to put it in the fridge because I didn't need to stay out to keep fermenting. It was well on its way, but I didn't know you could put a solid airtight lid on it because I thought it's releasing gases and it could cause an explosion in my refrigerator. Apparently that's what I should have done. I put the paper towel over it, kind of like my kombucha containers, like that, and I guess that was not the right thing to do. I don't know. Throughout this whole video, please leave comments in the comment section if you're a fermenting powerhouse, because you know way more than I do. All I'll say is that we come back from vacation, and even though I had watched tons of videos about how you could just leave your starter for a week or two and it's fine, mine was not fine. It had, again, like this thick crust on it. I looked it up, and it could be, the best answer I was able to find was calm yeast. Calm yeast had just taken over my starter and created this crust on the top. I don't really know what happened. All I know is that I just decided to throw it out. I did scoop out that crusty part and I waited a day or two, but it started smelling like acetone, like nail polish remover. That kind of signaled to me it was time to start over. So I did. Well, I do my second starter, and sure enough, it's like bubbling really fast, almost too fast. It's like fermenting within a day or two. And as you can see, these little white spots are mold that grew pretty quickly. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? And then I noticed the same smell, that same acetone-y smell. Okay, so I'm like, something's going on here, and I just don't like the way it's like a bubbling cauldron, like an evil sorceress cauldron. I just don't think this is right either. The smell also is off. So I text my father, who is a doctor and has a social media following where he does all kinds of nutritional stuff for your health and talks about sourdough starters. So go to drchipabrahamson.locals.com if you're interested in food and nutrition and how it affects your health. I text him and I'm like, I think I'm doing something wrong. I've killed 2 starters in a row now. I can't really figure it out. The only thing I can think of is that I haven't been using my kitchen scale. As many of you know, a kitchen scale is one thing that comes highly recommended for people who bake things. And I bought one at the beginning and I used it for my first starter, but I thought I had passed the amateur stage apparently, and so what I did instead was I started just measuring the same amount of water and the same amount of flour to start my sourdough starter, okay? So 1/3 cup of water and 1/3 flour, and I was just putting it in. And it only took a couple of days for me to realize that something was wrong with my starter. And this is what I think happened. Let me show you this experiment that I did to get the point across about why you've got to use your kitchen scale. In this first measurement, I'm going to do what I was doing. 1/3 cup water, 1/3 cup flour, okay? And you can see that the 1/3 cup flour comes out to be 41 grams in weight. Now, when I put the same amount of measurement, 1/3 cup water, that's 74 grams of water. So 41 grams of flour and 74 grams of water, a total imbalance. And what they tell you starting out is to do it by grams, by weight. Like 50 grams of water and 50 grams of flour is what I've heard a lot of people start with for their sourdough starter. Well, the weight, because of the density of the material, is going to be different than the size amount, right? And that was just not something I was thinking about. Let me show you this other example. In this case, I weigh it out, okay? So I put 50 grams of flour in one mason jar, and then I put 50 grams of water in another mason jar, and I put them side by side. And you can see that there is less water if you were looking at the level in the mason jar. The water level is lower than the flour level, and that's because for the same weight, you're gonna have actually less water than you are flour. So I guess I thought it was too cool for the kitchen scale, trying to save time and cut corners, and I didn't actually save time and cut corners because 2 weeks later, I'm now on my third starter, and I'm starting totally at the beginning. And so actually, I would be baking bread at this point if I had just used my scale like everybody told me to use and had not just gone rogue. And this starter is actually looking pretty good, so I have high hopes for it. And it does not smell like nail polish remover, which is a plus. So I hope that you got something out of this video. Get a kitchen scale. This only costs about 25 bucks. And I think the people who say you need one are right. I guess that's the point of this video. Listen to the people who have been doing this for a while. When they say to use the kitchen scale, just get one. You'll use it for other projects. And I think if I've learned anything in this, it's that when you start cutting corners with some of these processes and you think you're smarter than the scale, think again. And you think, like I said, like, oh, you're just saving time, just going, and it's really quick. 1/3 cup water, 1/3 cup flour, just put them in. No one's gonna know the difference. The scale knows the difference. And the problem is when you're fermenting, obviously it's a sensitive balance between yeast and bacteria, and if that's not healthy, then you get mold and other problems. And so you're really trying to give the good bacteria the best fighting chance that you can, which means you don't want to have too little water, you don't want to have too much water, and if you're just measuring by size, again, 1/3 cup and 1/3 cup, you're gonna end up getting way more water than flour. So stick to the scale, and if you have any other sourdough hacks, leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.